It's so beautiful. Can you tell me what is this music called, this style?
This one is Hungarian Gypsy nota.
Nota means?
Nota is it's like slow gypsy music, and then the csárdás is the fast music.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And do you know who composed this?
Yes, I think so. I don't want to say the wrong name, but I think Járóka Sándor.
And is he still alive or a dead person?
But he's a very huge influence on Hungarian Gypsy music.
So beautiful.
Usually it's played in a typical Hungarian Gypsy orchestra, which is brács, viola, violin, cimbalom, bass. Yeah. Actually, this is my favorite nota.
Can you sing it?
I can, no. Vannak olyan emlékeim, miket nehéz elfeledni. A csaló azt a múltat, a csalódást, a bánatot eltemetni. Ne sajnáljon senki minket, ne töröljük könnyeinket, nehogy más is lásson. Feledésnek ez az útja, sebeinket begyógyítsa az időmúlás. It's talking about basically it's saying how the first verse is saying we have so many memories that we love to talk about, and it's so nice to remember. And then the second one is talking about how we have so many memories we love to forget, and it's hard to forget.
Yeah.
And the time heals all wounds, and you wipe your tears so no one can see them. And it's talking about how going back to old places, like there's one verse where it says if that house is still standing, I would go back, and if it is, would it feel the same? And things like, it's like a, yeah.
So who taught you these songs?
With my mom. I learned them with my mom.
Yeah.
Because she sings them to me, and then I learned them, and then she's been singing to me these songs since I was a kid. I was like maybe 4 years old, and I was dancing to csárdás and just listening to all this music. So I would learn them with her, honestly.
Beautiful.
I would listen to the recordings and try to make it out.
Várják kicsikém még, fiatal vagyok készen, 16 éves vagyok, szeretném égetni, gyere babám, várják kicsikém még, fiatal vagyok készen, 16 éves vagyok, szeretném égetni, gyere babám,
How did your mother grow up?
She grew up in a very impoverished little village.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't have the most privileged life. So yeah, they had. I don't think I could ever imagine the stories that she tells me. It just sounds really dark.
So she was a Roma
Yeah.
in Hungary.
Yes,
Yeah.
in Rakomas.
Rakomas, okay.
Yes. And her mom was working as much as she could.
What
Her
kind of
father-
work?
She was working in like a. How do I say this in English? It's like a shoe factory.
Okay.
So she would be making shoes,
Mhm.
I think, and they would be I don't know, knitting them, or what's that word?
Yeah, sewing?
Sewing. That's the
Yeah.
thing. They would be sewing shoes
Oh, wow.
together.
Yeah.
And they would make like a couple pairs a day and then sell them, and then that's how they got food.
Wow.
Yeah.
Piros lett a pipacs virág, nem nősülök én sokáig. Piros lett a pipacs virág, nem nősülök én sokáig. Várjál kicsikém még, fiatal vagyok és szép. 16 éves vagyok, szeretni még nem tudok. Gyere babám, a tanítsál meg szeretni. De várjál kicsikém még, fiatal vagyok és szép. 16 éves vagyok, szeretni még nem tudok. Gyere babám, tanítsál meg szeretni.
Yeah. So that's how they grew up, and her father was an alcoholic, so they didn't have much of a father.
Yeah.
So it was kind of just her doing her best, and their grandma raising them, and her grandpa, and then yeah, that's how they. There's 8 of them. She has 8 brothers and sisters, so you could imagine. It was
Yeah.
tough. Yeah.
And because you are obviously very, very musical,
Thank
was
you.
it also a musical family that she grew
A
up
very
in?
musical family.
And
yeah.
tell me,
Her grandpa was one of the, like, I guess you could call one of the famous violin players. Both of her grandpas, actually, from her father's side and her mother's side. But on her mother's side, his name was Botos Gyula, and he was like crazy. I think he like played for the Queen and stuff, and he was just really hailed as one of the greatest players. Like to this day, you go to Budapest and to Rakomas and you say his name, and they're like, wow, like maestro.
Oh.
Yeah. So he was like very well known.
Beautiful.
Back home.
yeah.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
And so do you have siblings, brothers, sisters?
Yeah, I do have. I have 2 brothers.
Do they make music as well?
Just my middle brother.
Ah, okay. People often ask me why women don't play guitar, because it's usually the men, isn't it? We live a little bit in a man's world. But how is that in Roma Hungarian circles?
It's very frowned upon.
Is it frowned upon even?
Yeah, like it's
Really?
not something that it's not something that happens.
Oh, wow. So you're unique and you're so good at it. My
Thank
God.
you. So back home, there's a very strict culture in Roma families. And that culture means that the man is the bread maker, and the woman is the stay-at-home mom, basically. Cooks, cleans, takes care of the kids, and that kind of stuff. But I was fortunate enough to grow up in a family that pushed me and supported me. And these ideologies and this culture wasn't pushed on me. it is something that I did learn,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's a good thing to have. It's like an asset. It's
Yeah.
valuable to me to be able to cook and clean and do all this stuff. And I think every person should know that, right? And I value my culture so much, and I love it. But I also love the fact that I was able to have an opportunity to exercise my talent.
Yeah.
And to not be like, oh, you're a girl, like you're not supposed to be doing this.
Yeah.
Know? But it was more so like, wow, like we see that she has talent.
Yeah.
And when I say talent, I don't mean to sound like I'm cocky or something. I'm thankful to God.
I know
for
you're
his
not
talent.
cocky. Yeah, don't worry.
I'm truly thankful to God for blessing me with one of the most beautiful gifts
Yeah.
there is, which is music. I'm just glad I got to do that.
So what is it that you like especially about your culture?
I love the music.
Yeah.
And I love just the way we get together. So in my family, like when we have birthdays, Christmases, New Year's, just anytime we find an excuse to celebrate something. And it's always just a lot of cooking, a lot of food, a lot of music, dancing, and it's like one of the happiest times when I get to do that with my family.
Oh, that's
Var yer küçük